Good afternoon. We are here to have a roundtable focused on animal testing. We will be hearing experts talk about these practices. The question is if animal testing can be justified and if it has benefits or if we should change our ways. First, all we have Luis Angel.
Hello, my name is Luis Angel. I'm a student from Tec de Monterrey. First of all, animal testing has been a topic of controversy for a long time. The way to prove things are safe for humans has been testing the animals and see the reactions, but many people notice that animals suffer in this process. Here the point is that part shouldn't be that way. Many people ask themselves if the animals are not anymore for testing, what is it going to be the alternative? For me, animals should keep on the tests and obviously with some regulations.
Thank you, Angel. Then we have John.
Okay, my name is Jean Messier. I am a civil engineering student. I believe animal testing is a very controversial subject because a lot of people believe animal testing is cruel and inhumane. However, I believe it shouldn't be so. Animal testing is a way we can develop and improve a lot of technologies and medicines. Animal testing has allowed us to develop vaccines and a lot of drugs without putting people's life in danger. Some people would call using animals for research and testing purposes inhumane. However, if it is in the best interest of humanity, I think it should be carried out regardless of public opinion. However, I do not believe animal testing should be carried out without any regulations. Animal testing should be heavily regulated to ensure it is being done the most humane way possible.
Thank you. That's a very interesting opinion. Now we have Armando Lelo.
Okay, so I think that to talk about human animal testing, we need to have this context about humanism and speciesism. That is about when humans are in the center of everything. Like they put their lives are more important than the lives of other things like life of plants or animals or even everything that is nature, because we have more power on them. So I think that we tend to consider animals as food or as pets and maybe as products. So I think that we should have respect to the animals. We have a best respect, and even though I think that we should put our species as a priority, I think that we need to still treat animals with respect, to focus only on using animal testing on important aspects that are related to science. And also I think that animal testing only has a little understanding of what is all the human body. It doesn't correctly predict real world human reactions, and also the data says that animal studies fail to predict real human outcomes in 50 to 99.7% of the cases. So I think that all these demonstrate that animals aren't similar to humans, so there is not a real or strong reason to still have animal testing. So I think that maybe if we start to use more technology, we could have more methods about to have animals in a harmless way, and also to stop animal testing in the future.
That's a great explanation. What do you think about the topic, Carlos Grajales?
Well, I think that first of all, the use of animals in testing for medical and beauty products is totally justified, because I think that it is better to run risks on an animal than on a human. But I also think that the test should be run in an appropriate place and having the animal in very good conditions, having it well fed, for example. This type of skin and medical products have certain risks when being developed, and if these products are applied like on human skin and metabolism, without knowing first their capabilities, people run the risk of having their health deteriorated, or they could run even bigger risks. I have some arguments that I think should explain why I think this. The first one is that animal experimentation has helped to develop vaccines such as against tuberculosis, polio, meningitis, and human papillomavirus. Another argument is that, for example, asthma kills 200,000 people each year, and animal research has led to the development of asthma inhalers. So we could say that animal experimentation has helped to save 200,000 people yearly. Also, as we know, cancer is one of the worst diseases, killing millions of people around the world each year. But thanks to mice experimentation, scientists could get trastuzumab, that is a humanized mouse protein, and this protein has helped increase the survival rate of cancer patients. To finish with this, as we could see, if people hadn't experimented on animals, I think we wouldn't have been able to find a cure to a lot of diseases that in the past were mortal, but nowadays are almost harmless, and with treatment they can even disappear. Some animals die, but if they hadn't sacrificed, a lot more people would have died. And I hope that in the future it is not necessary experimenting on animals over and over again, but for now, I think it is the best option.
Thank you. Now we have Armando Porras.
Well, in my opinion, this is a too controversial topic because there is the part of the animal being testing that they are suffering, the treatment that the scientists give them, and in the other part, there is also they are necessary because if they are testing the medicine or any product in human, there can be secondary effects, and these effects can be like the skin burns, also maybe some illness, and even the death. Also, involucrate them this problem. There we have other people, the one that they are absolutely disagree with the animal testing, and then make riots, disturbance, and in the other place we have the scientists. These scientists don't care about the animals. They only care about the money that they want. But in my opinion, they both are wrong. Yes, it is necessary to be animal testing because, as I already said, it's too dangerous for humans. And with animal testing, all medicine in animals, the medicine can give us to humans with any secondary effects. But also the treatment that the scientists gave, it's also in human. So they need to be more conscious about the animals and not only care about the money. They need to find a balance between them, and with that, I think they can do a medic work, and also the people that manifest the problems can stop. And as I already said, this is so important because if there is not animal testing, the humans can be in danger.
Okay, thank you. So it's really interesting, the first posture of this expert. We can know that Carlo, Jan, and Luis has this opinion of how animal testing should continue with some restrictions, but Armando Lelo thinks that this could be a step to have better methods. So, Armando Porras, in which situations should or shouldn't exist animal testing?
Well, it should exist in medical things that involve the healthy about the humans, because if there is not animal testing, all the medicine that they gave us about if we have fever of other things, headache, if there is no testing, if we only consume that medicine like that, maybe they cure the headache, but maybe our stomach will be in in some danger. So there is in testing on animals about the medicine about humans for the healthy. It's correct. They shouldn't not be in the products about the makeups, because I think we have already have the makeups that are functional, no? That they don't hurt the skin about the women or the men. So there is not necessary to be testing more products about that, and also about the healthy, but not the healthy about if you get illness, not the healthy about the brush your teeth or to get healthy hair, because actually there are also products that we have, the shampoos that they have that are many kind of them that they cure your problems of your hair or also your teeth to be white. We have already have those products, so there is not necessary to be testing more products about that. But as I already said, the medicine yes is necessary.
Okay, thank you. And Luis Angel, what do you think about that?
First of all, Armando was right. I consider that the argument that he gave was correct about that animals should be like the first point to prove the stuff in such as medical ways and in other sectors. But for me, in talking with something else, I consider that testing shouldn't exist when animals are from the wild. At least for me, that's the only condition I could put on the table. Animals for testing should be from farms specifically for this purpose. Using animals from the wild can damage the ecosystems. Regulations should be made, making it like to a middle point in which companies do not abuse from these animals. I do not see another way in which animals can be substituted for another method. Sometimes things that we don't like have to be done, and in this case it is for a good reason and not just for fun. Animals from farms can be controlled in terms of numbers and reproduction, and their purpose since they're born is the testing.
Well, I agree with my partners, and I would like to add some information to what they just said. I think that animal testing should disappear when we discover another way of testing the products and to see if they don't harm human body. Until this moment, I think that animal testing is somehow necessary because we must be sure that these products that we use in our daily lives, like shampoo, skin creams, cosmetics, toothpaste, etc., doesn't harm human body. Otherwise, how would we be able to guess if these type of products may harm the human body? But this kind of testing should be done in good conditions for the animals, as I said before, in order for them to live peacefully lives, because we must not forget that they are also living creatures, so they deserve to be treated with respect.
Okay, so you're saying that animal testing is only a step and we should stop if there are better methods? It's similar to Armando de los posture.
Yes, I agree, because I think that we tend to experiment in a lot of products and a lot of things that are unnecessary or that doesn't have any big impact in the world, like makeup, like shampoo, deodorants, teeth care, skincare. And we should only focus maybe on improvements or develops that help our society as humans and to improve science. And I think that we should stop continuing using experimenting on animals in these situations, and also in the products that I said already that are like shampoo, deodorants, and all these, we can stay with the groups that are only the products that are only already in the market. So I think that are the improvements that are really important or that should involve animal testing. If it's necessary, it should be develops or innovations that help humanity.
Okay, thank you. And what do you think about that, John?
Well, I agree a lot with what my partner just said. I think animal testing should only be carried out if the purpose of the research that involves it can benefit humanity. This would include research of drugs and medications and similar types of research. However, if animal testing shouldn't be the first choice, since nowadays the advancement of technology has allowed us to make complex drug simulations to simulate the interactions they have in the human body. So we can test these drugs and new researches in simulations before we have to involve animals. So that's why I believe that animal testing should only be a step in the chain of research only when we have made sure that the drugs are promising and that they may have a good development in the human bodies. So we have to make sure that we only use animal testing when we have tested them with other methods and with simulations and other technologies, and then only if it's necessary tested in animals, so we can make sure that they are safe and efficient in humans.
Someone else who wants to add something?
Well, at the end, we are fighting against something that has been existing for basically years. And changing it is something difficult nowadays. But to making it, we need to do it like in a slow way. We cannot just say it because we want to, but like to start going around the subject, changing little things so that the main thing later can change.
Okay, so now that we have heard all of the experts' opinion and we know about how animal testing is like a practice that should continue unless there is another better method, what alternatives exist or should exist that would make this practice more ethical or even to stop it? Armando Torres, what do you think about this?
Well, I think that it can be two methods. One is the actual that I think is the best. That is that, like I already said, the scientists give a inhuman treatment to the animals, but also the animal testing is necessary to humans. So we need to find a balance, and because if they can keep testing, but also give better treatment to the animals, like to get back them, feed them better, and all of that. And also with this proposed, the people that is opposite against the animal testing, will feel better and they will stop the riots. But I already say they need to give them a better treat. But the scientists only care about the money, and they don't care about the animals. So they need to change their minds. And also another solution is, but this is more futurist, is that they need to create a technological human body and that it's too similar to the human DNA, and to test now all the products to that technological human body. But as I already said, this is too fiction. It can be possible, but in the future. But till now, the solution is to give better treatment to the animals.
Okay, thank you. And Carlos Grajales, what do you think?
Well, I agree with my partner, and I also would like to add some information. I think that to make this practice more ethical than it is, we could make the animals live in proper conditions in their respective laboratories, and they could even give the animals some time a day to be free in their natural habitats, being fed constantly with healthy food, full of vitamins and minerals in order for them to have energy in the day. For example, a rabbit must consume 150 grams of hay 100 grams of vegetables per kilogram of rabbit's weight, and 30 grams of fodder per kilogram of weight. All this food must be consumed daily for these type of rabbits, and they should also be constantly checked by veterinarians and medics to make sure that the animal's health is good. And when the animals are not required more to keep experimenting on, at the end they should liberate them and put them free in their natural habitats.
Thank you. Ms. Angel, what do you think? What's your opinion?
Well, in my own opinion, I think that there should be a government sector in charge of taking control of it in terms of making revisions, certifying things, because at the end, I think that the government is the only one that can put order in that stuff. I think that regulations are the key to success and improvement. At the end, as I said before, we are fighting to something that has been passing for years, and changing it from one day to another is something basically impossible. Going directly to the topic, animal testing is not the way to stop it, like it. There are many paths people can follow and bring it down, and people will even not notice it. For example, the fact that some brands with their products that they don't use animal testing nowadays is a way of doing branding and making it an option to consumers that take care of it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, what's your opinion?
Well, I think that in order to make animal testing a more ethical practice, we should make governments implement regulations to make sure animal testings are being carried out in the most humane way possible. But we should also make sure that these regulations are being followed, and if they are not implemented, heavy fines to companies that do not apply these regulations. We should also ban animal testing in companies that have repeated instances of violating these regulations. However, this should only apply after we already tried many different methods to try and to test the products that are being researched and developed. As I mentioned before, technology nowadays has allowed us to develop drugs in ways that we never thought possible. So we should make sure that we take complete advantage of these technologies in order to make sure progress is being made with as little animal testing as possible. However, I believe this practice will always be frowned upon by the regular public.
Okay, and for last, someone who wants to give a conclusion for the topic.
So I think that some of these methods or these ideas are good because we need to start having this respect to animals, that to have them in a good, they have a good life, and we also could try to have animals that aren't in danger or in extinction, maybe animals that could reproduce fast, and also nowadays there are several methods that we could use that could prevent suffering for animals, and some of them are that with the technology that we have, we use human cells and also human tissue to use them as to test products or even medicine. So it couldn't have they couldn't suffer because they aren't live as a animal. And also there are a lot of research that are doing nowadays, and one example is the COVID-19 vaccine that shows that people can be a part of the testing part and skipping the part of the animal testing and go straight forward to observe how vaccines work in humans. So I think that all of these could be methods that are really valuable, and that little by little we can have to stop animal testing to make more it could be more ethical, and also it could have like more respect for the nature.
Okay, so thank you so much all for listening. This has been such a great roundtable and with this very interesting and important topic, and that would be all. Thank you.